I want to thank BICSI's John Daniels for joining us today to talk about the upcoming fall conference and exhibition. John, thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Patrick. It's a pleasure to be here, and I appreciate you wanting to spend some time with me.
It's our pleasure, and I'll get right to it about the fall conference and exhibition, returning to Las Vegas in late September, and I want to ask you about the content that's going to be delivered, the educational content. But first, hoping that you can explain for us, describe for us how this event is really going to be a combination of learning as well as professional networking. So wondered if you could first give us an overview of what the fall conference and exhibition is going to offer for activities in each of those aspects, the learning as well as the professional networking.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I love talking about that. We have a great lineup of educational content and networking opportunities for the fall conference, as well as some ICT experts and plenty of new faces covering the latest advancements and trends in the industry. I'll give a quick rundown. So our paid pre-conference master classes are going to take place on Sunday and Monday, and they're going to cover some trending topics like sustainable technology innovations and solutions for smart buildings, edge data centers, closing the digital divide, and of course, PoE lighting, which it continues to be a big topic. And then following the keynote, Sumitomo's ICT Field Division presentation will highlight some of the new innovations in connectivity and will certainly help meet growing data center demands. And then on Tuesday, our concurrent sessions will feature a great lineup that covers the very latest technologies impacting the smart building industry, including an expert panel on implementing technology for net zero buildings and presentations on new fault-managed power systems and single-pair Ethernet that will certainly significantly change the way we connect and power a growing number of devices across the wide range of building systems. And then on Tuesday, we'll also have some hot topic presentations on cybersecurity and several data center trends like MPO connectivity and new short-reach single-mode applications. And then Tuesday afternoon, Cynthia Schultz, who has about 30 years of experience in broadband regulatory law, she'll provide strategies for ICT professionals to successfully navigate the $65 billion investment that the government's made in broadband across the country. So she's going to talk about that, which I'm excited about because I think that's a great opportunity for the folks in this industry. And then that will be followed by 2 ICT Field Division presentations from CommScope that'll feature Rona Davis talking about the augmented workforce of the future, and Ken Hall discussing new data center requirements for Web 3.0. Great topics. And then on Wednesday, we're going to have concurrent sessions that'll focus on audiovisual, fiber, and wireless. Everything from migrating to AV over IP and certainly AV design and education, to passive optical LANs, OTDR testing, and implementation considerations that are related to the latest 5G and Wi-Fi 6 and 6E wireless technologies. All good stuff. And Thursday's closing general session is also a must-see, starting with Corning's Brian Davis, giving us a sneak peek into the optical architecture at a world-class resort on the Vegas Strip. And that'll be followed, of course, by our BICSI Cares presentation and the usual door prize drawing for the attendees. And then regarding networking, the opening reception will take place in the exhibit hall on Monday evening, which is always a networking highlight. And there'll also be a reception on Tuesday evening, and we'll provide lunch in the exhibit hall on Wednesday. These are all excellent opportunities to catch up with friends from a networking perspective.
Wow. So there's an all-star lineup in several ways. The topics being addressed are really hitting the here and now, as well as the future. What's up and coming. Really emphasizing the point that attendance at this BICSI conference is going to equip folks with the information, the intelligence that they're going to need going forward, and also an all-star lineup. In terms of some of the names that you mentioned, very recognizable experts in the industry, bringing the technical chops to what's going to be presented there. So thank you for that. I do want to follow up a little bit. You mentioned keynotes once or twice, and I know that there will be, I understand there will be 3 outside keynoters addressing the attendees. So wondered if you could tell us who the keynoters are and what kind of insights and enlightenment they're going to bring to attendees to the fall conference.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked about that. We're very excited about our keynote speakers. Our opening keynote will be Rachel Wilson. She's the director of cybersecurity for Morgan Stanley, and she's going to open the general session on Tuesday morning talking about cyber threats in 2022 and how they impact you and your business, and certainly how to be prepared. So I'm excited about that. And then we're going to have a midweek keynote on Wednesday, and that will be given by Nicholas Badminton. Nicholas is the chief futurist and think tank leader for his company. He's going to bring insight from his experiences shaping visions for leading organizations, trillion-dollar companies, and progressive governments. And I'm excited about his presentation. And then our closing keynote is going to be by best-selling author and motivational speaker Kim Becking. Kim is going to be talking about building a momentum mindset, how to be adaptable, resilient, and ready for what's next in a rapidly changing world, which is certainly relevant in what's going on in the world today.
For sure, yeah, and never has it been more true that the only constant is change. And again, another example of how attendance at this conference is going to prove worthwhile for people. Thank you for that. I have even another question about the conference agenda in its detail. The technical sessions, many of which you described, will be running concurrently, or several of them will, which the way I look at it essentially allows an attendee to sort of create their own conference track, if I can use that term. And wonder, John, if you have found this approach, which I know has been taken in the past, has that been well received? Have you gotten feedback from attendees that is a worthwhile and worthwhile and good, I guess, way to approach the conference sessions, allowing folks to really sort of pick and choose the sessions that are most meaningful to them?
Yeah, and that's exactly it. I think you answered the question yourself, and the concurrent sessions are very helpful. As an Air Force vet, I always believed in the idea that flexibility was the key to air power, and it's certainly not any different at the conference. Flexibility is definitely key to giving the best education experience for attendees. Running sessions concurrently, like you said, gives attendees the ability to maximize their conference time by choosing the sessions that are most relevant to them. And that's really what it's about. Now, we understand that there may be multiple sessions happening at the same time that are relevant to an attendee, and that's okay. But we've got a solution for that, and I think we can cover that a little bit later. But it does really work out, and it certainly provides attendees the flexibility they need to really maximize their conference time and experience.
Excellent. If I can jump now to the exhibition side, which you mentioned as well. Thank you for doing that. I guess an overall a question of what attendees might expect on the exhibit floor. Now, I understand in looking at the map, the exhibit floor map, there's going to be a section that's dedicated to first-time exhibitors, companies that attendees will have the chance to sort of visit and get up close with for the first time at a BICSI. But I suspect that's just the proverbial tip of the iceberg for anybody who's attending. So wondered again if you could sort of give us an overview of what attendees are in for on that exhibit floor.
Yeah, that absolutely. And again, you helped answer the question yourself. Attendees are definitely in for a great conference, including the exhibition. And we will have a first-time exhibitor pavilion that will highlight some of the new companies exhibiting at BICSI, but there will be many other companies or first-time exhibitors on the show floor outside of the pavilion. We have nearly, I think, 20 new to BICSI or first-time exhibitors so far this year. And wow. Of course, as always, folks will be able to see some of the leading ICT companies who are always at BICSI. And I've mentioned some of those already. The exhibit hall also includes the BICSI Theater. That's where the What's New, What's It Do presentations are going to take place on Monday and Tuesday nights during the receptions. These sessions are where attendees can see quick demonstrations of new products from some of the exhibitors, But at the same time, the exhibitors will also get a passport that they can have stamped when they visit some of these companies to find out more about their products after the presentation when they go to their booths. And of course, if they get all the stamps that they need on their passport and they turn the passports in, then they'll be entered for an opportunity to win a free conference hotel package for a future BICSI conference. That's always a highlight as well.
Yeah.
The theater as well, I want to highlight, will have a presentation or a Women in BICSI event, if you will, during the attendee lunch on Wednesday. Carrie Gates, who's the principal and CTO for Strategit.com, she's going to talk about how women in ICT can build their careers by putting their best foot forward and leveraging the right resources and networks. So that'll be a good presentation for folks to go see, particularly those who are women working in the industry. Right. And then finally, let me plug the exhibit opportunities. We still have a few spots available. So I encourage your listeners whose companies haven't jumped in yet to jump in as soon as possible before these spots disappear. So they still have an opportunity to get involved and participate.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for that information, all of it, particularly including the fact that there's still an opportunity for organizations to get in on the exhibit side. It brings up the reality that attendance at this conference and exhibition is a business trip. It's a with business purposes and business focus. So what that brings up to me is if somebody's listening to us right now and they're considering going and they're on the fence about it, maybe they could benefit from understanding, the real value, the true ROI of attending the fall conference and exhibition. So if I can put you on that spot, is there a way to sort of put the ROI of attendance at this event in a nutshell?
Yeah, that's always top of mind for folks when they spend or invest in attending conferences like this. And my response is really, it depends on the individual or the company. It's an individual question. But I will say that we work very hard to organize the conference in a way that each person's experience results in personal and or company ROI that they expect. For example, some attendees are focused on continuing education, especially to obtain, their continuing education credits so they can renew their certifications. Others are focused on learning about the latest trends, and certainly they can get that in the What's New, What's It Do presentations and some of the other technical presentations that are being presented. And still others, they're recharged by the networking and catching up with friends and colleagues. But whatever the reasons are that folks attend, they can be assured that BICSI is working hard to make sure that the experience is well worth their time and effort to get there. So it's really an individual company question, and obviously we're open to feedback. And if there's things that we can improve on or do better to help them achieve, maximum ROI from this investment, we're all ears. So that's how I would address that.
Excellent. Thank you. Shifting gears a little bit, kind of to logistics, I guess. It wouldn't be an in-person gathering if we didn't at some point mention health and safety protocols. So I feel compelled to do that. So masks, and the like, what we in all the world have become accustomed to over the past 2.5 years. So I must ask, is there a policy for the fall conference and exhibition concerning health and safety protocols, including but not limited to masks? Is it a situation that BICSI is monitoring, and might there be some information closer to the dates themselves about what the procedures, whether preferred or required, would be?
Yeah, Patrick, that's a really important question. And I will continue to emphasize at each conference and to everybody that I can that safety is paramount, and that the safety and health of our members and our credential holders and our attendees, exhibitors, vendors, and staff is certainly of the highest priority. And to that end, that's why we are actively monitoring the guidelines and recommendations from various government agencies, as well as the Mandalay Bay Resort Casino, to help ensure the safety of everyone that's in attendance. I would say that folks should take note of BICSI's Know Before You Go email that they should get prior to traveling, because it will contain the latest updates and information as to what is expected on site. They can also check the health and safety section of the conference website for more information. And of course, we expect everyone to act responsibly and to do what's best for them and those around them. So whatever they feel that needs to be, then certainly we hope that they would behave in that way. But again, safety is paramount, and of course our goal is to try to protect the health and safety of everybody who's attending the event.
Thank you. A final question for you, John, and thanks for the time you've taken so far. I would like to ask you about ICT Direct Fall 2022. That's a term that I have seen, and I understand it's an offering from BICSI, and wondered if you could explain to me and to everybody who's listening what that is. What is ICT Direct Fall 2022, and what relationship does it have to the Fall Conference and Exhibition?
Yeah, that's another great question. So we're trying something different this year. And as you know, many companies around the world are working to reinvent how they interact with their staff and with customers and their stakeholders. Of course, all with the aim to provide the best experience possible. BICSI isn't any different, right? So this year, we're separating the in-person and virtual events into two separate events rather than running them concurrently as we have the last few conferences. So the ICT Direct Fall 2022 virtual conference will take place October the 6th until November the 6th, so 30 days. And it actually serves as an extension of the fall conference. So attendees at the ICT Direct event will see most of the same education sessions presented during the in-person event in Vegas. And there'll also be some sessions that will be exclusive to the virtual event only, right? This separation, I think, at least in theory at this point, will allow us to focus 100% on the in-person conference to ensure the best experience possible for those folks who are investing in being at the conference in person. And then it'll also allow us to focus 100% on the virtual conference to help ensure the best experience for everyone who attends the virtual conference. Now, the good news is, which is similar to what we've done in the past, is that the ICT Direct virtual event gives folks who aren't able to travel to Vegas the opportunity to attend a BICSI event and to access the same educational content and obtain the continuing education credits that they might need for their credentials. All the in-person attendees who go to the conference in Vegas will have access to the ICT Direct event. So they can go, they can focus on ICT, the in-person event in Vegas. And when they get back, they have a little bit of time, of course, to sort of recoup from Vegas. And then they can go back into ICT Direct and view all of the sessions that they saw either in person at conference or see the ones that they perhaps missed because they were attending a different session.
Right.
And then to also access the exclusive virtual only education sessions that will be there. One of the big differences is that we're not going to have an exhibition hall in the virtual event. But there will be an opportunity for the virtual attendees to have access to the exhibitors through other means, right? So that's the difference. They're related, they're connected, but we want to separate them out so we can focus 100% on each one at the time that they're taking place. And we're going to test it. We'll see how it does and see what sort of feedback we get. And then we'll decide what to do in future conferences relative to that.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. As you were explaining that, I was thinking about our discussion just a few minutes ago, about those concurrent sessions, and you indicated that there's a path for folks to see everything that's being offered. So great information for everybody, and I'm thinking particularly for those who do attend the in-person event, that if they're really in a quandary because there are two outstanding sessions happening at the same time, they can breathe easy, knowing that they'll have access to the complete slate of sessions in really just a short amount of time. Because with the live event happening, if I'm not mistaken, it's the 25th through the 29th of September, and then it's really just like you said, a short recoup period. Within about a week's time, everything will be available in that virtual format. If I have all your information right, if I understood it correctly.
Yeah, you're correct. You're correct. We're looking forward to it, and we've got quite a few that have already registered for the event, but obviously registration is still open. We encourage folks to register as soon as possible, to book their hotel rooms at the Mandalay Bay as quick as possible, while the discount is still there, right?
Right.
And we look forward to seeing everybody there again, and just coming back out of the pandemic and beginning to ramp up and get to some semblance of normal as best we can. And we look forward to going to Vegas and seeing everybody.
Same here. And BICSI.org is where more information can be obtained, I assume.
Exactly.
Right. Well, John, thank you for the time that you've taken today. Thanks for the enlightenment for myself, but more importantly for the ICT industry at large, and the benefits that they can gain by attendance at the fall conference and exhibition. Thank you for your time today, and thanks for the time that you'll put in between now and the event, at the event itself, and of course going forward. So thank you again. Really appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you, Patrick, and we appreciate CI&M for helping us to share the information about the conference, to get the word out there.
It's our pleasure. Thanks, John. Have a great day.